Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a former professional NFL player who now heads up a nonprofit that helps people tackle the mental issues that are plaguing so many Americans. His incredible journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, I am privileged to have in the studio Chris Thieneman. He has an incredible story. He goes by the Kentucky Cowboy, but there's a bigger story than that. He was named the Kentucky Cowboy by Tom Landry when he was just 10 years old. Chris Thieneman, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate the invite. Look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, and this conversation is 50 years in the making. So
literally 50 years. In 1975, when I was 10 years old, Coach Landry, I was out there hanging out with the whole team at the Super Bowl 10 in Fort Lauderdale when they played the Steelers in Miami.
Wow.
And he said, "Where are you from, son?" Because I was there every day, talking to every player, getting every autograph. And I said, "For Kentucky, sir." And he says, "The Kentucky Cowboy."
Wow.
And the newspaper picked up on it, and it was on the cover of the Dallas Morning News.
Unbelievable.
Called the Kentucky Cowboy, Chris Thieneman, 10.
All right, we're going to show just a little clip from an amazing film that you're the star of. It's about your life and your off-the-field battles. Why don't we set up this clip by talking about the Post-Game Project, because you have an amazing nonprofit.
Absolutely, thank you. The Post-Game Project, we started that just recently because of the outpouring of support that we had from our documentary. It's won 5 awards, and people have literally contacted me thanking me for this film opening up to something that most people don't think. Yes, former football players or big, strong guys, men,
right.
Could struggle with. Yes, I struggle with panic attacks. I'm a lot better now, and I want to share that experience with others through the Post-Game Project, that we can overcome our struggles.
Amen.
Yep.
All right, much more from Chris in a second. Let's just show a little bit from the documentary.
I hate we didn't play together, because I know you would have been a great teammate, but I have, again, so much respect for what you're doing now.
Hey, Chris, the Kentucky Cowboy, huh? Hey, this is Danny White, old Cowboys quarterback. Just checking in on you. Hope you're doing well. It's been a long time.
You got to beat them with your mind.
Right.
You got to beat them. You got to prepare more than they do. Now you really gain an edge.
Well, I saw you guys, and I just knew it. But I knew you the most out of all of them. I said, nuh-uh. Hey, where the hell you think you're going?
And he said, "Hey, this guy can play big, he's strong, he's a good worker. Get this guy."
I'm Chris Thieneman. I'm a junior, and I play defensive line. I'm from here in town, Louisville, and I am a business major.
The #1 individual contributor to those impressive defensive rankings is defensive end Chris Thieneman, leading the league in sacks, and I think on his way to a possible MVP defensively in the World League.
Vic was out of football for 3 years. He says there's a lot of people that I want to prove wrong.
Chris became a success on the field as well as off, but the path to get there had many obstacles. Some would say Chris was born to be a pro athlete. At the age of 4, Chris Thieneman's father took him to every baseball game in driving distance from Louisville, Kentucky. The closest ballpark would be Louisville Fairgrounds Stadium, where the Colonels would play, and where Chris got his very first interview with none other than a future Hall of Fame sports writer. Only 4 years old, working on the day he would join the pack out back at the fairgrounds. Tom Thieneman was a baseball man, hoping his two boys would love the game like he did. He owned and managed his own team with big dreams. He even dreamed of having his team play the Cincinnati Reds, and of course, that's exactly what would happen. Tom was also an avid bowler, owned a chain of bowling alleys, and was inducted to the Bowling Hall of Fame.
My father, who would always hug and kiss me and constantly tell me how much he loved me, also taught me to dream big and to know what I wanted to do in my life. He demanded and expected perfection and ingrained in me to be polite and have a firm handshake, say yes sir, no ma'am, and to always open doors for all women.
Obey the rules. Don't break the laws. That's my father. And to work hard and to be great. He really didn't expect anything less than being great. He wanted us to be perfect.
And so let's talk a little bit about perfectionism, because I think that plagues a lot of Americans. We all just want to be perfect, and we beat ourselves up when we're not.
Exactly. And I had a great father.
Mm-hmm.
I am not suggesting anything otherwise.
Sure.
But he had high expectations of me, and I wanted to please him so much that that's all that mattered.
Yeah.
I wanted to be perfect for him. And his enthusiasm for my wanting to keep him happy, then just...
What's your earliest memories of having a panic attack?
Really, it was, I had my best friend commit suicide when he was 12. I was 12. It was just basically right after the Super Bowl. We were going to go back and sign up to play football, and my best friend took his own life, and I had to be the pallbearer, and there was no therapy. Nobody talked about it. We just had to do it and go home.
Yes.
And then I was at school and had something coming over me that I had told my friend that I don't want to be here. I want to go see my friend. I get out of school and because I wanted to be with Bobby, my buddy who killed himself.
Mm.
And I was having a panic attack. I needed some help. And that was the first sign, but never really got the help that I needed.
And you alluded to this early in the show, that I think people would look at a guy of your size and say, man, this guy's a warrior on the field. Certainly he's mentally tough. So your documentary really gets into a problem that plagues hundreds of millions of Americans, doesn't it?
And it's shown on television through the commercials. Have you ever seen the depression commercials where the guy's holding up a fake smile when behind their face they're sad?
Yes.
That's what I was able to do, being the size, and people thought that I was handsome. So I had everybody wanting me to be like me, and so I had to pretend to be the person that they wanted me to be. So I couldn't be me, and I was just struggling inside, pretending to be perfect and fine.
You guys had a big premiere a couple of months ago. We're going to show some pictures from that. Let's go ahead and put those on the screen. So where was the premiere?
It was at the Cowboys headquarters, and they supported us big time. And that's the where the players watch their film. So we had a full house, and we were really proud of having the support.
Chris, what's been some of the comments that you've received since the documentary's come out?
One in particular just blessed my soul, because this gentleman was just got divorced and wanted to commit suicide. He literally told me that he wanted to kill himself, and ended up, I gave my phone number out. He called me up. He was in Florida, and I talked to him. You know, I'm not professional. I don't do this for a living, but I had to talk to him. I said, you need to call somebody, but please don't give up just yet. Get that bottle. He was drinking. Get it aside. Take that gun and put it away, and just take a moment to watch my film. And I called him the next morning. I didn't hear anything, but he calls me up. He said, thank you. He said, believe it or not, this film saved my life. I had no idea that you struggle with issues that I struggle with, and if you can handle it, I want to handle it. And so we've been working together. So that's just one example.
Well, we've got 2 hats here on the desk, and one of them says Post Game Project. So tell us about this nonprofit.
So we started it a couple months ago after our film, The Kentucky Cowboy, who's been winning. I did this documentary mainly, Jeff, for my children, because my oldest struggles with, has mental struggles.
Sure.
And to respect her privacy. But I wanted to show her, because she thought her dad was perfect. When I quit the Dallas Cowboys, and you'll see that in the documentary, I didn't get cut, but I let everybody think that, hey, I did everything my whole life. It was a dream. And I wanted my kids to feel that way. I didn't know that was hurting my children, thinking, oh, I'm not perfect like my dad was. So I did this documentary. The filmmaker said, Chris, this is helping me. He said, you care if we share it? I said, that's not why I did it, but the first film festival that we went into, we won.
Wow.
And then it just snowballed, and then when the Cowboys wanted it, we wanted to film it at the headquarters, and it's just been, we started the Post Game Project to help players, and now we're helping businessmen and women.
Well, I have this theory that you have the walking wounded. They're invisible wounds from COVID, because you can't take the whole planet and shut everything down and then say, okay, never mind, go back to business as usual. So, I mean, are you convinced, as I am, that there's a lot of people who have undiagnosed PTSD?
That was absolutely. That was a traumatic time for me. It kind of brought back old struggles. The loneliness, because the 3 years that I was out of football, I felt lonely as anything. I was as low as I could be. Yeah. And COVID brought those, triggered those feelings.
Sure.
And I said, okay, we got to do something about that. My children were suffering. So many kids are suffering that they shouldn't be. And we got to let them know that it's okay to feel this way. It's somewhat normal. Let's just figure out a way how you can be fixed. Because everybody's different, but everyone is fixable.
So I had a friend of mine tell me one time, because she was going through this, she says, she's at the bottom of a well, and everybody that she loves is yelling, hey, you're smart, you're beautiful, you can climb out of that well. And she told me words that would always stay with me. Sometimes you just need somebody to climb down in the well and sit with you.
And you do, because people would say that about me. Oh, you got everything. You shouldn't feel this way. You know, just you should be doing this or that. And they don't know how you feel, and we don't know how we. They don't know how we struggle, and if they could just come down to our level. You know, I just remember looking at when I was 22 and quitting the Dallas Cowboys, my dream job, and looking at the picture of when I was 10. Telling myself, look how much you've let this little boy down. You've let him down. He counted on you to do something, and it makes me tear up thinking about it.
Of course.
And that helped me. Okay, you're right. I promised myself when I was 10 I was going to do something. Now just figure it out.
Okay, what are some lessons that you've learned and that you're passing on to others through the Post Game Project?
Well, to be positive. Say things that are positive about yourself. Don't be negative. If you ask any of my kids now, they'll say, and literally, if you would just ask, what are the things that Daddy doesn't like? Dad doesn't like whiners, complainers, or negative people. We cannot continue to talk down to ourselves, because we're going to believe it, and inside it just manifests. And you have to tell yourself, I want to win today. Because I get goosebumps thinking about it, because those 3 years that I was out, when literally I was ready to end, I didn't want to live anymore. I just said, you know what? I'm going to win. I'm not giving up. I did get closer to God and say, God, I don't want to live like this. I need you to help me. And he just put a calm over me and gave me music and film. I got my inspiration from, and it's in the documentary, a song that from Phil Collins, I Don't Care Anymore.
Yes.
Now, that might sound harsh, because I still care, but I would, when I was going through my struggles, I would care so much that it would be debilitating. Yes. I mean, you have to, have so much care that you make yourself sick.
Yeah.
I was worrying about everything. Okay, let's not worry about these things. Care a little bit less about thinking of these negative thoughts. Let's get rid of the negative thoughts. And then the one film that really changed my life was a really big part was in Rocky 3. There's a scene in there, and we have it in the film that Rocky is on the beach, and his wife is, if you remember, talking to him.
Yeah.
He didn't admit it to anybody at the time. He was scared. He was scared, and he didn't want anybody to know it. And I felt, okay, I'm scared. I don't want anybody to know it. But his wife, and to me, his wife was talking to me. You know, this is not you. You're not going to be able to live with yourself. Look what it's doing to you now. Do something about it. And that was such a critical point in that film. It was the turning point. And I allowed that film. I just searched, instead of reaching out to people that I didn't feel like I could talk to, my father or anybody, that I just found it in my music and my film, and though I overcame with that.
And it sounds like so much of your mission and ministry now is removing the stigma, because certainly before COVID, I don't think very many people would raise their hand and say, I'm dealing with something. Now it's okay to go to your boss in most companies and say, I might need a mental health day. But in some professions, take law enforcement, it's not like you can say to the sergeant, hey, I'm wrestling with something. And I heard a statistic that if you're a pilot and you're wrestling with mental health issues, as soon as you announce you have a problem, they take you off that plane and you cannot fly again for a year. So there's still a stigma out there.
And I'll give you the perfect example. And again, it's in my film, but John Wooten, he's the big superstar scout for the Dallas Cowboys, and when he signed me, he had no idea that I was struggling mentally. And when I interviewed him last month, he said, Chris, I wish you would have said something to me. I said, John, if I would have said something to you back then in 1988 that I'm struggling mentally, you would have drove me to the airport and told me to get home.
Right.
And he says, you know what, you're right. Back then we couldn't, but we have to do something. And he says they are doing a better job of that now.
Yes.
And it's okay to feel weak. It's okay to feel sad. Just there's ways to get past it, and we're going to find a way together, and we're just going to bring all these professional organizations, and where we can lead you. That's what the post-game project is. There's not one website that can lead you to all the other spots. We're not licensed to therapists, but we can send you to the places to go.
So Chris, we've got about a minute left. So how can people come alongside you? Do you need donations? Do you need volunteers? How can people support you?
I would love them to go to the postgameproject.org and learn more about us. And then if you know others that are struggling, or even if you don't know, just send out the word, because they might be struggling and not telling you. They might be holding up that mask, telling you not to, making it look like they're happy. But let's just make it okay. And I'm telling you, it's amazing how many people, if you, this big, strong, and strapping young man, and could have it, then, and you're willing to share that, which is something that I wouldn't have done, others folks were saying. But if you're willing to do this, I can do this for myself. And that's the biggest joy that I get. I'm helping my daughters. I'm helping my children. I'm helping my friends now, and I want to help others. And I know we can.
So beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your heart and your wisdom with us. We're going to end with that website one more time, which is postgameproject.org. Chris, the Kentucky Cowboy, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Steph. I really appreciate it.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.